Hello, how are you?
Hey guys, how you doing?
Very well,
Great.
thank you. Very
Great.
well.
Awesome.
I know that
Alright,
did not sound very enthusiastic, but
that's great.
we are doing great. Let's just introduce ourselves. I know you've been talking with Ian a lot, but my name's Chris. I'm located in Baltimore, Maryland. I will be kind of the facilitator of the discussion a little bit, leading the questions, so on and so forth. And yeah,
Cool.
Now I'm Tyler Barker. I'm from Canton, Ohio, and I'm kind of just the wine/beer guy. And yeah, I'm just quite knowledgeable on the industry and just quite intrigued. If you've ever seen my page, non-alcoholic guys, so yeah, it's a little
Yeah,
bit
I've had a bit of a book, so.
And
awesome.
then I'm Ian, obviously, I was chatting to you. And so I'm in Spain at the minute, and I'm originally from Ireland, in
Yeah.
Dublin. So yeah.
I've half my family from Ireland, so.
Oh, excellent. What part? Donegal?
Cool. Yeah.
Cork. Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
Have you ever been?
Yeah, I was there 2013. I spent
Oh,
about 2 years in islands all over Ireland. Yeah, it was great.
yeah. Excellent.
Awesome.
Yeah. So we've got an hour of my time anyway. So whatever you guys want to ask, I'm very open. What else do you want to know before we kick off? You can hear me okay now?
Yeah,
It's all good.
yeah. This is much. It's
How old
coming
are you
through
guys,
much
by the
better.
way, if you don't mind me asking?
What?
How old are you guys? I was just trying to guess.
I'm 29.
Yep.
I'm 21.
I'm 16.
No, you're not. Shut up.
There you go.
No, I'm 22.
Lovely. Okay, cool.
All right, so just getting into some more formal introductions. If you can go ahead and say your name, where you're located, and give us the quick little bit about what you do, your Instagram page, the movement you're leading, and all that stuff.
Yeah. Cool.
So, yeah,
Right.
let's just get into
Kick it off?
Yep.
Yeah, I do. So I'm Sam and I'm the founder of Sobermates. I'm 26 and I'm based in Geelong, Australia. So Sobermates is an online platform where you're here to explore your relationships with alcohol. You can be sober or not. We're just here to let you explore. And we're also here to shake up the expectations of drinking in Australia as well.
Excellent.
Is there a kind of overall drinking issue in Australia that needs to be curbed, or?
Absolutely. So I think we are definitely known for a binge drinking culture and our beers and everything like that. So I think it's born in us that we're going to be drinking beers and drinking heavily from a young age. And I don't think there's really a culture of it being an option to be sober. And that's what we're looking to change with Sobermates. Like with me, for instance, I did want to go sober for quite a while and I just didn't think it was an option until it was.
Awesome. What made you want to go sober? And then what was, I guess, the final like nail in the coffin per se to get you to completely go sober?
Was there the click of a switch moment, or was it kind of a gradual?
Yeah. So it was a bit of both. I've just lost you there. Sorry, I've got you back. It was a bit of both. So I'd been thinking about it for, I guess, 18 months, and it was a gradual thing. But then there's like the binge.
Oh, great! Just dumped a whole bunch of water all over myself.
No, that's fine.
There we go. Just tilt the
Yeah.
camera up. We're good. We're fine.
Okay, cool. Sorry, my mic is just coming in and out. Sorry, we can cut this out, right? Okay, so I'll start that again. My mic has just fallen out. Sorry, it was about 18 months. I had been thinking about quitting drinking, and I guess I was a big social drinker and didn't really know my limits. I was always the one sort of forcing everyone to do shots and sort of taking the nights too far. But my anxiety was getting pretty bad with the hangovers, and I was thinking about it, and I just didn't really think it was an option for me. Like, I didn't want to drink, but I didn't want to not drink either. And then I had my besties hens in Feb this year, and I'd organised it. I'm a great organiser, and that's just what I love doing, is organising parties for everyone. So I was totally in my element. And then, there was a few shots left over, and I thought I'd down 4 vodka shots, which wouldn't be a real big issue for me. I'm happy to do that usually, past life. But it did end up with me being a bit of a mess, me having to be looked after by my friends when I'm drunk, me calling the ex and doing the thing that you shouldn't do with your ex. And then it also led with a 4-day hangover. And I woke up the next day and I was like, I don't want to feel this shit again, to be honest. I was just so over it. And it was that usual thing of, I'm never drinking again, but it was a really line in the sand that it wasn't going to happen again. And I just thought I'll do it for 3 months and we'll see what happens. And I haven't looked back since.
That's awesome.
Excellent.
That's incredible.
Yeah, it really is. And so this was just in February this year?
Yeah, so I am newly sober. So it has only been almost 4 months now. But I just know it's a change, like that it's permanent. It's not something I'm going to take back. There's no urge, and I'm just really happy where I am with my life. My mental health's really good. I'm more focused on looking after myself, and I'm a better friend, and I think I'm a better human. I'm a better human this way.
Absolutely.
Excellent. And how long between, say, quitting drinking and setting up Sobermates was it?
Yeah, so Sobermates launched on my 3-month sober anniversary, and I had been thinking about it for probably, I don't know, a few weeks, and it seems like a really short amount of time. Like it was, yep, okay, there's no community in Australia. There's no one that really talks about this. There's nowhere to go to learn more in a really safe and, I guess, social environment. So that's where the idea came from. There's some great spaces in the UK and the US, but I couldn't really find anything really that talked about Australia's complex binge drinking culture. So that's where the idea was to create my own. And it really took off. I think there was a real gap to hit our age ranges. Like we've got a lot of young people, so people starting out drinking, like the 18 to 20-year-olds, that they're just kicking off their big drinking habits and they don't want to be a part of it. And there's also people like me that have sort of had their big drinking culture few years type of thing and they're just over it. So we're hitting those sort of markets, and then it's just where it kicked off. And so it was about 3 weeks before my 3-month anniversary. Yeah, it's good.
That's awesome.
Excellent.
How big is the sober curious movement in Australia?
Well, I don't know if it is a movement yet, if I'm truly honest. I don't think it has started yet. I hope that Sobermate's kicking it off, to be honest. There's people that talk about, not wanting to have the hangovers and not wanting to like drink again, but they're not taking it not taking it seriously, or they're not ready for it yet. I think it is really hard to say no forever in Australia, and that's why I did say no for 3 months, and then now I'm saying no forever. But yeah, the movement is starting, but it's a very light on. I think in the next few years it's really going to change.
So do you think as a whole people are drinking less, or do you think it's about the same as it's been in the past?
Oh, I think we're drinking more, to be honest. I think the 30s and 40s and 50s, and this is just the research I've done, the 50-year-old women are drinking more than what we used to. I think the people in the 1820s, I think they're drinking less. The people that I've spoken to and the people that are reaching out to the page that are not wanting to binge drink at that age, which is a really nice movement. It's really nice to know that the next generation are better than mine, even though there's not a huge age gap with us. So yeah, I don't know. It depends on the generation. It depends on where you're at in life as well. But some people I think it's more, and then I'm hopeful that it is less though.
Cool.
Did you find there was much peer pressure from your mates and your family when you first said it? And did they kind of look at you like you were crazy, or were they fully supportive? Or
so with my friends, they were really supportive. I've got a really tight knit of girls. So when I did say that I was giving up for 3 months, I only told my inner circle of girls, and they were super supportive. I think they were so supportive that I was actually worried. It's like, why are you being so supportive about this? So I think I was like a little bit more of a mess than maybe I thought I was. And I remember when I was sober for about a month, I had my best friend's wedding, and it was really lovely. She got me non-alcoholic wine and champagne so I could join in like everyone else. And because it was such an early stage in my journey, it was really nice to be included, not have to explain that, why I'm drinking soda water or whatever. And I remember the girls were on the dance floor, and I was talking to some lovely oldies at the party, and I was like, oh, I've got to drive these drunks home tonight. And they're like, oh, you're not driving them. Like, you've been drinking all night. I'm like, no, I'm actually like stone cold sober. This is like non-alcoholic champagne. And that was a really nice moment to know that I could enjoy my best friend's wedding. I didn't need alcohol to like have fun or like to change my personality. I'm very lucky that I am a big extrovert, and I wasn't drinking to change my personality, which some people do. I was just drinking to be social, and I think my probably extrovertness made me take it so far, is because I was always up for a good time and like bringing people to the party and everything like that. So I have been lucky, with friends. They have been super supportive. My family, quite big drinkers. My dad's always hosting parties, and that's the I guess the way I grew up. Like, we've got a bar in our house. We were always ones that we hosted all the parties. We were always the ones giving shots out. Black Sambuca is pretty much our family drink on a night. So the family's been really supportive. They've known I have struggled with anxiety and my mental health. But I think I've been very lucky quitting at this. I'd quit about a month before COVID started. So I'm coming really out of isolation, and these social events are coming up. And I think people couldn't believe when I announced that I was 3 months sober. People actually couldn't believe I'd gone sober. Like, my Instagram stories were full of alcohol previously. So I think I will get that peer pressure when I'm back socializing as I usually would. But I've been very lucky in the start of my journey. I actually got to hide away, and I didn't have that pressure to drink every night.
That's awesome.
Excellent.
That's great. So,
and go ahead, Chris.
Go ahead. I'm just trying to find my place in the questions.
And in Australia in general, like, some people are opposed to kind of non-alcoholic drinks and stuff like that because they say it might, trigger them or whatever. And in your own case, that's not the case, thankfully, is it? Or
no, it's not the case at all. And I do totally understand that for people with addiction recovery, and it can be triggering. For me, I want it as a replacement. I feel more comfortable having a glass of non-alcoholic wine because I don't have to explain myself. I don't have to fit in. And it's also a really nice way to start the conversation of like, what are you drinking? Because there's such cool drinks out there now that look beautiful and look the same as a gin and tonic or a wine or a beer. And it's a good way to start my conversation of why I'm sober on that night. But I actually do think I would struggle if there wasn't non-alcoholic beverages for me to take to social situations. And it's also, it was a really good placebo at the start. So I'd always have a glass of wine after work, either at the office or working from home, which I'm doing 5 days a week now because of COVID. And I still do it. I do it less. At the start of my journey, I would just crack open a bottle of non-alcoholic wine and enter my day. And it was still just habit. And it was good just to pick up that. I had a pretty crappy day at work on Thursday, and I was just like, yep, I'm just going to crack open my non-alcoholic wine and have my placebo, and that's all I need. And I'm very lucky that I've been able to make that switch. I'm buying a lot more wine than I actually thought I would becoming sober. Dan Murphy's is our bottle of choice, or my bottle of choice in Australia. And I ran into a friend and he's like, oh, I didn't think I'd see you here. And I'm like, I'm heading to the non-alcoholic wine aisle. Like, I'm not buying alcohol. So I did get caught out the other week, but yeah, I was making the right choices, so it was fine.
Good.
Do you think when you do go in the store that it is tempting walking by the other items, or do you think it's just because you enjoy these non-alcoholic beverages so much that you don't really think about it?
Yeah, so I caught up with girlfriends last night and we went to the Bottle together, and the bottle, like, it sounds so lame, but the rosé bottles and everything like that, they're actually just so pretty to touch, and I think that's how I got conned into drinking. It's just pretty bottles that I like. So the wines and stuff, and just because there's a bigger range, like, it's nice to browse aisles, like, it's nice to have a look down another aisle and another and pick what you want. I don't think it's gonna make me drink again, but it's I do miss, the big browse, like when when I'm looking to drink, it's like just one lot of drinks and that's all I've got to pick for. But yeah, it was funny that I'm still recommending wines to my friends, and they were like, oh, like, what's this to? I'm like, oh, I don't know if I should be recommending this anymore. Come over to my aisle. And it was really nice having, they, made sure they'd come check out the non-alcoholic aisle and I could explain the drinks that I'm drinking now. So that was really nice. But Yeah, I wish there was more of a range in the local bottlers. I'm originally from a town of 1,000 people, so we do have a tiny little supermarket, and I went down there to visit my parents, and there is literally one bottle, which is like a rose. What is it? It's a Shiraz, and it's the only option they've got. So it's really interesting to think that when you go into the country and where the drinking culture is a lot bigger, there isn't a lot of options if you don't want to drink and you do want to have a non-alcoholic beverage. So I think that'd be really hard if you're in the country. And I'll be definitely bringing down non-alcoholic beverages that still live there so I can show off to those friends. But it just depends where you live, it makes it really hard if you do want to make those changes and you've only got, Coke or a lemonade as your choices as non-alcoholic beverage.
What are all the different kinds of non-alcoholic beverages in Australia?
Okay, so I'm with Sober Mates. We are going to have a Australian beverage partner each month. So our partner this month is Brunswick Aces, and they make a sapir, which is a botanical drink, which is meant to be like a gin. So that's what I've been drinking over the last week. There is a few wines. Edenvale Wines is one of my favorites and really did get me through the first month, so I praised them. And then there's also a lot of different sparklings as well. We've got some beautiful botanicals, like Echt Sparkling. They use only Australian natives, which is really good. And we also have like things like Cult and Zero beers. I'm gluten intolerant, so I don't get to enjoy beer anymore. But I have had a few of those just to try them out, suffer consequences. But there is a range, and I really think that if we didn't have COVID, like a lot of these brands are 18 months old or a year old or are really new. And I really think if it wasn't for COVID, like, because our alcohol did spike, everyone sort of, went a little crazy and went to the bottle shops at the start because they thought they were going to close down. Of course, Australia would never close down their bottle shops. So people went a little crazy and it spiked and everyone buying alcohol. And I think that if we weren't in COVID, it would have been a great chance for these non-alcoholic companies to really show off what they can do. So I think the push for these brands is maybe we'll just start hopefully in our summer in a few months and they can really take over or take some of the market.
Excellent. And do you find having this online platform it's good for support, it encourages you, and do you find like that helps you as much as you're helping other people? Or
yeah, absolutely. Like the reason I started Sober Mates is because I didn't have a community. I didn't have anywhere to go to talk about it. And yeah, it's been a great help for myself. I'd like to say, yes, I'd still be definitely sober, but this is absolutely a big motivating factor now that I have Sober Mates. And it's been a great way to meet people. Like the sober community is just such an inclusive community that I've sort of never seen before. Like people, like with my community, every single person that has a public profile, I will message them and thank them for following them and, start that engaging relationship. And everyone is so responsive. They're happy to share their story. They're happy to say why they're on the page and thanking me for the page and giving me suggestions of what they want to hear and what they haven't heard in the past. So with Sober Mates, like it's an Instagram page. We've got a website, we've got a Facebook page, but Instagram is where it's at for us, and we're creating content that you can learn about while you're scrolling in bed. I remember when I first started the page, I sent it out to a few friends, just check out the content, does this sound all right? Is it engaging? And my friends were like, this is great, don't judge me, I'm drinking a glass of wine while I'm reading your content. I'm like, no, that is totally fine. We're for the sober curious. As long as you're there engaging, that's all I want. And it's working out so far.
Excellent. Yeah, it seems that you're not coming across as like a Puritan kind of pushy person. It's kind of you're opening the door for people, so to speak. And then if they want to go through, let them. Would you agree with that? Or
yeah, absolutely. So when we do a big post, so we about once a week we do a post that's like a learning post, like something we haven't really spoken about. We'll do a poll on our stories and we'll have questions directed at people that are sober and people that are still drinking. So we want to hear from both sides of the story. We want to be offering advice that can be for both types of people or people on their journey, however you want to say it. And it's really worked out well, and it's been really interesting hearing back people's different stories. Like I put out a post to questioning drinkers, saying, hey, do you think you'll be peer pressured to drink more leaving COVID and going back into your social situations? And obviously I'd never share who said what. But I do have, it was really funny. There was a group of girls saying, oh, like, I know when I get back out there, like, I'm going to be peer pressured to drink by my friends. And I had 3 messages and they were from the same group of girls. So it was, and I'm like, I wish I could just be like, create a group message of like, girls, you're peer pressuring each other. Like, what are you doing? None of you want this. But obviously that is not my role, and I wouldn't exploit their privacy like that. But it's really funny that a lot of people, like, they're peer pressuring each other and they don't even want it. So I'm thinking like maybe in 6 months, if they're still contacting me, I might be like, maybe your friends are like feeling the same way. You should have that open conversation. But I think as long as they're engaging with sober mates, I think they might find that themselves, that they are exploring their relationship. And we are going to start giving a lot of options to have those barbecue conversations of why you're not drinking, and giving reasons why, and why you really don't even have to give a reason if you don't want to as well.
Excellent. And just in your own life, Sam, what positive changes have you seen since February, say in the last 4 months there?
Yeah, so the biggest one for me would be my mental health. The anxiety got to a point where 1 glass of wine would affect me the next day. I'd be in a bit of a down mood. I wouldn't be really happy with myself. So mental health has been the biggest one. I have gone off my anti-anxiety medication, which is like...
Oh, congratulations.
Awesome. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
That's big.
I'm really happy with that. And I'm a better friend. At my friend's wedding, I was talking to my bestie and this gentleman who didn't know us, and I was saying how I was sober, and my friend made this comment. She was like, oh yeah, she was a mess. And it really cut me, and I was like, oh, was I a mess? And I actually brought it up with her today. We went down to the beach together, and I was like, oh, like what you said really hurt me. And she's like, well, it was sort of true. I was looking after you when I was trying to him. And I was like, oh yeah, thanks for putting me to bed, making sure I got home safe. So yeah, I'm a better friend. I'm a better worker. My mum doesn't drink actually. And I do have a good relationship with my mum, but it's even better now because now I bring home non-alcoholic wine and we have wine together, which I've just never done with my mum before. And she loves it. She's like, oh, like what can we try next? And so it's been really great for our relationship. Yeah, I'm a lot happier. Like just waking up on a Sunday and not feeling shit about myself or scared that sorry, I probably shouldn't be saying shit all the time.
No, it's
okay. We've marked this as an explicit podcast. You can say shit, fuck, whatever you want.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
This is no holds barred.
We are a non-judgmental podcast, so say whatever you want.
Oh, thanks. So yeah, you do get Australian on the podcast. It's your own fault. But yeah, I'm all around happier, and I'm doing well with my day. I'm looking after myself more, so there's just nowhere to go back. I can't see the benefits anymore of drinking.
Excellent. And just, have you any other questions, guys? Or?
I'm just so fascinated listening to the stories. Like I'm just, it's awesome. It's an incredible tale. It's an incredible journey, and you're still just starting out.
Yeah, so that's Chris strikes a good question there. Where do you see yourself in June 2021, or where do you see Sober Mates?
Okay, so Sober Mates it's a community, right? And as I said, I continue to ask people about what they want and what they want to see. So it will evolve as the community wants it to. So I actually didn't think anyone would want events, but people have been saying we want stuff to do when we're sober. So we will be having some events, we'll be having some panels, we'll be getting some people from all different walks of life talking about their journey. We are going to be launching, hopefully working with a number of different Australian brands and their products and how we can promote them on our page as well, as you've probably seen. But yeah, it's just like, I just want it to be as engaging and want it to be informal. Like I don't want it to be too heavy or anything like that. So we do want to keep it light enough that you can engage in and out when you want, but we will start having events and that type of thing across Australia as well. So we do aim, I'm based in the south of Australia. I'm actually from an hour from Melbourne. So I want to make sure our events are Australian wide, and as soon as I can start flying around the country, we'll start doing those events.
That's
Brilliant.
awesome.
Amazing.
If I'm
Yeah, it's
ever
really-
in Australia, I will hit you up.
Yeah, never say never, you know.
No, seriously, I always have people staying with me from all over the world. My dad has always made sure to bring in backpackers to our house, so I've grown up with them, and I've backpacked through Europe for about 8 months, and I travel to a new country every year. So I probably will be jumping on your couches sometime soon, as soon as I can fly.
Sounds
And you
like
lost
the
my mind.
plan.
Yeah, we all got to catch up for a non-alcoholic beer and wine, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Global conference.
Yeah, absolutely. Got to bring us together, right?
Can write it off as a business expense, right?
Love that.
Absolutely. I'm loving this. I'm loving to get to write some stuff.
I think we just started Sober Curious International LLC.
Absolutely. This is sort of now we're doing this. As soon as I can fly. I'll be in the States. I was meant to be in the States right now for my cousin's wedding, so I'll be back hopefully in the States next year for a wedding. But it
What
works
part?
out. San Francisco.
Nice.
Yeah.
It's on my
Right.
bucket
So-
list. I need to get out to San Francisco soon.
Yeah, but my work, the company I work for, has offices based in near Maryland as well. So hopefully, if I
Awesome.
get us a comment into the States, I'll be visiting you, Tyler.
Awesome.
Was it Tyler? Was it Chris or Tyler? Was in Maryland. Sorry.
Me, Chris.
Oh, sorry, Chris. I'll be visiting you. Sorry, Tyler. You'll have to wait. We can
Yeah,
come up to us.
Yeah, I'll go to you guys. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. So I think that wraps it up, is it?
yeah, that's
Well, Sam,
that's all our questions. Yeah.
we just
Thank you so
we tip our hat to you. You're doing amazing work, you know, in Australia.
Right.
So thank you so much for taking the time to join us today.
Of course.
Do you-
Anytime.
Do you want to tell the listeners or the viewers where they can find you and stuff like that?
Yeah, definitely. So on Instagram, you can find us at Sobermates. Facebook page is called Sobermates as well, and our website is www.sobermates.com.au.
Excellent.
Awesome. And hopefully
Thank
we'll
you
be
so
able to
much.
get you back on the podcast a little later on as Sobermates has
definitely.
evolved and grown even more.
Yeah, absolutely. That'd be wonderful. Thank you so much for having me today.
Thank you for
Oh,
joining
thanks for
us.
joining us.
Thank you.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Just before you go, do you mind if we take a quick photo just for our
Oh,
story?
yeah, I'm going to take a photo too. So
Absolutely.
you go first. I was like,
Okay.
please, let me know when you're
Yeah.
ready.
Right.
Smiling.
5, 4. Hold on. Square. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Right. Excellent.
All right.
Right, now-
I'm going to
Right. Hold
grab the phone. Okay, let's. All right, everyone's smiling. Cheese. Cool. All right, gotcha. That was wonderful, guys. If you need to know anything more, let me know. And yeah, I'm looking to interview people and have short little IGTV videos on Instagram as well. So I will be hassling you guys for an interview sometime.
Yeah. Absolutely. We'd be more than happy.
Thank you so much.
Have a good
All
one.
right.
Thank you. Thank you, Sam. Have a great day.
Have a good night.
Night, guys. Or good morning. Good night. Yeah.
Same thing.